Welcome back to the Womcast. We got a great episode for you guys today where we talk with Justmanupplays. You guys might know him as Bosco Murphy within my storyline, or maybe John Finnegan in Red Dead. He creates amazing RP content, and I'm so excited to talk with him and for you guys to hear his mentality on RP, but also some of the great conversations we got into in this episode. And it's going to be happening right after this. All right, guys. Well, welcome back to another episode. Thank you so much for joining us here for episode 6, I believe this is. Dude, you guys have been watching these episodes like crazy, so I appreciate you so much for giving this a chance. I think as a content creator, it's kind of scary to step out and start to create something new or try something new. And you guys have made this something that I just absolutely love doing every single week. Being able to sit here, talk, kind of shoot the sheet a little bit, but also interview some amazing people. So we got some bigger plans for this whole podcast idea coming up, and I hope they come into fruition. It's a big word right there. I hope they come into fruition or come to be. Is that even the right word? I don't even know if that's the right word, but I hope they come to be. And so you guys will be seeing that pretty soon here. But yeah, I really like this side of the stuff that we do. I like talking like this. I like yapping and all that stuff. So thank you so much for making it something that, I feel like we can continue doing and all that kind of stuff. So appreciate you guys. Today's episode gets kind of deep a little bit, and it talks about a subject kind of at the end. We talk about it, but it gets a little bit deep on like the mental health side of things. And I thought it was kind of funny for it to kind of go there. Because I mean, recently I've kind of found myself in a little bit of like a protection mode for myself, and some of you guys probably noticed that I've been taking like full weekends off. That's been for multiple reasons. Number one, I wanted to take the full weekends off because I wanted to like reset creativity. I wanted to be able to do things like this. I wanted to be able to do things like making more videos and making more TikToks and basically all the busy work. If you guys don't understand how my like workflow kind of works, I stream anywhere from 5 to sometimes 10 hours. Stream wise, let's be real, it's probably more 8 to 10 hours is more the normal like average. And then we gotta find a way to get those TikToks up, those YouTube videos up. Now, Injustice helps out a lot with that, which is absolutely amazing, but I still have to get the actual clips ready, right? So like I get all the I grab the clips and I put them in and I do all the kind of stuff. And sometimes, dude, you give like 8 to 10 hours on stream of boom going, and that's a little hard to keep up with those other things, And so I was going 6 days a week for quite a bit. A lot of people they try to use the word burnout, but that's not the right word at all. It was just more that my creative capacity was kind of like drained, I never go, I don't want to go live. Like even on the weekends, I'm like, I really want to go live this weekend, but I am just trying to make sure that I'm protected from just being in the space of like, I don't know. It felt like I was playing catch up creatively, like I felt like I wasn't able to like create, like come up with new ideas and stuff like that. And that's very valuable to me. And I think that's something that keeps me encouraged and keeps me going, is to come up with new ideas, whether it's like a podcast like this, or whether it's how we're doing videos or what we do on stream, how we do it on stream, or whatever it is, And so I kind of felt that hitting a little bit, this like, I don't know, kind of just zapped creatively. And luckily those weekends, like making that decision was the perfect timing. It's scary to do that, dude. I'm going to tell you the truth. As a streamer, cutting back on like a certain amount of hours or that kind of stuff, you feel like, what if people don't like remember me? Or what if like, you think about it financially, like, oh, what if people, that they just don't want to, subscribe, or they don't want to, whatever. And that was like the normal day that would happen, or whatever it is, like all these like thoughts come into your mind. And then I saw actually like a podcast clip, which is kind of funny, of a guy named Rick Rubin. And he's like one of the most prolific, or one of the most like known music producers of all time. And he says it like this. He goes, you cannot create for the reaction that you like get from creating, right? Like, so you can't create anything for the reaction. You have to create it because you absolutely love creating it. And then you're going to find people that also love that thing you're creating. And so that's kind of the mentality I found over the last few weekends. You know, I think the recent growth has been insane and overwhelming at times, because you start to think, what does I mean, look, I'm just gonna be real. I can be real here, right? Like, you start to think like, what does everyone want from me? You know, what do they want, and how can I give that to people, and that kind of thing. But the reason that I create is to connect with people, not to like grab some kind of amount of likes or amount of this or amount of that. And I think I kind of refound that, you know, and I think it centers around that idea of mental health. I think it centers around all that. And for me personally, it's really hard to take that day off and know when I can take it off or when I can do it or whatever, because I'll just keep working through it, you know. And sometimes I do that and I get on the other side of it. It's not a big deal, but this time I knew there was like, I needed space to breathe. And so that's why I started taking the weekends off. And I think it really changed the game for me. You know, I think it's something that I needed. I think it's something that, I don't know. Still I hate it. I still hate it, man. I love being live. I think if I could just be live and everything else just like happened, I'd feel great, you know? But also I think I'm kind of the type of person who has to be creating multiple stuff. You know, it can't just be the one facet of live. So we're here. But GTA side of things, man, things have been going really great. A lot of people have been asking me lately, which I thought was kind of interesting. Are you excited for GTA 6? And of course I'm excited for GTA 6. I just am like holding my excitement because we don't know exactly when it's going to come out or those kinds of things. But I don't know why I got that question so much this week, but like, yeah, are you excited for GTA 6? I'm like, I feel so lucky that where my stream and like videos and stuff like that are at right now, leading into GTA 6, I just hope that we're just trying to put as much work as we possibly can into the time before GTA 6 comes out so that we all can enjoy GTA 6 together and dive like so deep into that game. I'm like just so stoked about it. I think it's going to be really, really fun. So, I don't know. That was like a random question. I don't know why I even brought that up now, but it was just a random question that like came up a lot this week. Maybe it was like a TikTok question, but yeah. Are you excited for GTA 6? I always answer the same. I go like, no, not at all, you know? And then they would follow up and be like, are you excited for, or like, when's the RP going to happen for GTA 6? And I'm like, bro, you're going to be waiting, you know? You're going to be waiting a while. I hope not, but you're probably going to be waiting a while. So yeah, but, but dude, today's episode was a very, very good conversation that felt very natural when we were having it. And I hope it comes off that way because, dude, I don't know. I just felt like I really connected with Justmanupplays. I felt like it was a great conversation and great everything, man. So I think you guys are going to really enjoy this one. We're going to go ahead and jump into that conversation now. If you guys have any questions, dude, please put them down below. If you guys don't mind smashing like on this episode, it helps out a whole bunch if you do that. Or if you guys have any like comments or reactions or anything like that, put them in the comments below. I love reading through those. It makes my day. So appreciate you guys. We will see you next episode and in this little, in this next part that you probably showed up for. Okay. We'll see you. Have a good one. I'm here with Justmanupplays. Some of you guys might know him from Bosco Murphy within my storylines. If you guys have been watching me for a while, you might even know one of my other characters, Bodhi Sunshine, with Bosco Murphy, and just the different things. Hands down, and I don't mean to like hype this up too much, bro, but hands down, actually one of my most favorite RPers to watch, most favorite RPers to RP with, and all that kind of stuff. But welcome to the podcast, Justmanupplays. I mean, can we call you Alan? Is that cool? Or
yeah, you can call me Alan, man. It's easier.
I was like, it's a little bit of a mouthful, you know. It's like
Justmanupplays. Yeah, no, Alan's perfect, man. Thanks for having me. It's good to be here, and thanks for the compliments. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. The how long have you been doing like role play and stuff like that? I was wondering that the other day.
Not that long. Well, long actually. Fuck, the years are going by, man. Years have gone by quick. I'd say after COVID, maybe like 2020. So like 4 years, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Me and I don't know whether you know DJ Sweaty Jock. Shout out him. Yeah. Me and him, like he doesn't live too far from me. And we actually got into it together. We bounced around some little funky public servers, done some weird shit.
Bro, those are crazy days. The public server days, dude, is like, yeah, it's crazy to think back on that.
It's every man for themselves on them servers, man. You know what I mean? Like, them servers are wild. But yeah, we started out together. And I think that was a good way of me getting into it, to be honest. I don't think I would have done it if I didn't have someone helping me. Do you know what I mean? Because I was always a little bit weirded out by RP. I always got kind of like stage fright or something like that, you know?
Yeah. Did you start out like streaming RP or did you just play it?
No, originally, so the background of Justmanup is Justmanup was set up previously as a men's mental health podcast.
Wow.
So
okay. I think I remember hearing you talk about this. Yeah.
Yeah, so a friend of mine and myself set up a men's mental health podcast. He moved to Canada. I continued it. And then during COVID, before actually COVID, it turned into a men's mental health group. So like men in Dublin would meet up. We'd go for a walk. We'd go for a coffee. We'd have a chat. All that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing. And then COVID hit and we couldn't meet up. So I started streaming on Twitch as a way of like getting the lads in the chat room, you know, just chatting about stuff, all that sort of stuff. So I started streaming that more so than anything. And then it kind of went into like Warzone.
Yep. Yeah.
And then after a while, it was like fucking, you know what caught me eye? I don't know whether you know Mr. Moon's House.
Oh, no.
Mr. Moon's House is the GOAT of RP, in my opinion, the greatest to ever do it.
Really? Okay.
He does like movie style Daisy videos. He does like movie style RP, and it caught me eye one day on YouTube. And I was like, you know what? I might give this RP shit a go. So that's how it led into then me and Ian being like, yeah, let's jump on these public servers and get abused by strange people.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So did you start out with GTA then? GTA RP?
Yeah, GTA RP was my first RP experience.
Because I know a lot of people started out with like Arma or like Daisy. I'm like, bro, I just started with GTA. Same thing. Same exact thing.
There's some goats out there, man, who've been a long time. Arma, Ark.
Well, that's someone I encountered in Prodigy was Timac. And he's somebody who's been on like NoPixel for a long time. I like, to be honest with you, bro, like I'm an RPer in the community that hasn't watched a lot of like RP, so I'm always like behind the ball. I know like some big names, you know what I mean? Like, and I've seen some storylines, but I stream a lot, so I don't get a chance to like watch.
Well, it's your full time. It's your full time gig. You know, you need switch off time, bro.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
You know, it'd be really hard to do that shit and then be caught in another RP story and watch it. And there's only so many hours in the day. I don't blame you.
Yeah. So I guess what kind of made you want to like tell? Because I think there's like different types of RP, right? I think there's. And I've talked about this a little bit, like on a couple other podcasts, but it's something that really interests me is the storyline based stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering, I'm imagining that you're like a pretty big movie buff.
Yeah.
Because I when I see you like kind of like coming into a character or like into a storyline, and we'll kind of break down some of your characters as well, which I really wanted to go into. But Is there some thought process there, backstory wise, and do you kind of connect some of these like movies for inspiration at all, or is there ways that you do that?
Yeah, so I get caught in different zones in RP.
Yeah,
I get caught in zones where I'm like, I'm going to create a character that's just going to be fun. And I'm going to have a laugh. And I'm going to take the brakes off. And I'm going to chill. And it's going to be my unwind mode.
yeah,
And then sometimes I go into this mode where I'm like, I'm going to have a detailed as fuck character. And I'm going to flesh out a storyline. And it's going to be deep. And it's going to go. We're allowed course on this podcast, I assume.
Yeah. You're fine. You're completely fine. Yeah.
Because I bought the course a few times. Then I only caught it there. I was like, shit.
Yeah, you're totally fine. No, you're totally fine. Whatever.
Yeah. So like I listen, I take inspiration differently. I prefer deeper characters. I'm not gonna lie. I prefer a character that's really fleshed out. Often more than not, it can be difficult to play them characters because them characters are more than likely not liked by other RP characters because they're so intricate and they're so deep. And they have, like one of my characters, John Finnegan, for example, he is made to not be liked. He's so intricate and challenging and like he has so much trauma going on in his backstory that it would be crazy for me to play him like a really liked man. Like, it doesn't make sense. So like the way I kind of do it is I go through zones, man. Like some like months I'm in a mood to go and be a shitlord. And then some months I go and I want to be a detailed character. And then sometimes I just want to be a cop and go around and do funny traffic stops. And that. So like it goes in phases, but often it's kind of like I take inspiration from people that I've met in real life. I take bits of their persona, the way they carry on, bits from stories, bits from movies, TV shows. And I often find that it's like loads of different people gelled into one lunatic. More than not, it's a lunatic.
Well, the larger than life characters that you play, I think is something it's genius because, I mean, why not? Why not play something that's large and like big and kind of in your face, but also the way that you do it, it's also not your main character in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like you know the way to like go into that main character spotlight, but you also get to you know the ways to like fit into a scene where it's not, you don't have to always talk. You don't have to always. That's one of the things that I always see with like new RPers is like there'll be some really talented like new RPers, but they can't shut up. Like they just cannot shut up. They cannot play out a scene where someone's talking to them and they don't like have to talk. I always see it whenever we have a court case and you have the whole server inside of like a room, and people just cannot let that scene play out. They have to interject and say that, you know what I mean? Like it just, but with you, I see where, I don't know, I just see the scenes, you allow that space for people to kind of respond and stuff like that. Is that something you think about, or is that
something that I had to get better at? When I originally started role playing, I quickly clocked that I was being a bit too fucking much.
I went through the same thing.
Yeah, and I think that's something you like. Role play in particular is one of them things. I think you need to reflect it quite a lot in it. I think it's quite a reflective creation. You could say. You need to be able to look at yourself and then be like, am I enabling others or am I shutting down others? And I think no matter how big your character is, you still need to listen to others and you still need to allow others that space to be able to create. Because it's all well and good John being, say, that character, because I always use him because he's the biggest of the characters I've ever had. He's an old, stubborn Irish man who believes he's connected to God. He believes he communicates with God. So why would he listen to Nick Ender? No offense.
Yeah,
why
absolutely.
Why would he listen to someone else? He thinks he communicates with God. You're just a piece of shit to him. You know? But like, scenes don't flesh out if I just shut down other people's scenes. So part of you needs to be like, I'm in the character's mindset. I'm in the character's zone, but I'm also a role player. And role playing is allowing others to speak and giving others, like often with John, I put myself in situations that I know I'm going to lose, or I put myself in situations that I know aren't going to go well for my character, because at the end of the day, it's role play. You need to allow that space.
Yeah, that idea of putting yourself into like a moment to lose, right? A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of viewers don't understand that piece of it. That's something that I personally I do a lot. Like I'll go into a scene going, okay, these guys are trying to rob me and they're trying to trick me and they're trying to whatever. I'm gonna play into it and I'm gonna go and like enable what they're doing. You know, allow them to have that scene. And I'm gonna play out the scared guy that's getting, you know, that got caught, got up, you know, like got caught lacking or whatever, you know. Explain that a little bit. I guess we can have a kind of little dialogue on that of just setting those scenes up to lose. Because I think a lot of people when they first get into RP or like when, you know, maybe they've been in RP for a long time, they can't remember the last scene that they like lost in because
yeah.
You know, and how many times I look over at the chat and they're like, Nick, you're gonna get robbed. Nick, don't go. You're gonna get I'm like, guys, yeah, but my character doesn't really see the, you know, outside picture, you know. I think it's important to put yourself in those kind of
100% it is. A prime example is I jumped over for rush hour when I was taking a break from.
Oh no, I know.
A prime example, ladies and gentlemen, is that on rush when I took a little break from Red Dead, I said, "Fuck it, you know, I'm going to reach out to Wombat, see if he recommends rush hour. I need a new server. I haven't played on any much GTA servers." Bosco went on to rush hour. He bumped into Nick, we had like a little bit of dialogue back and forth. Bosco got robbed. He fucked over. All that shit went on for a bank. It was really, really good. And then there was a prime example where you were doing some RP or something like that. Am I right in saying that?
Yep. Yeah.
Bosco called Nick and was pretending to be a Russian journalist from Russia, who is the head of a business magazine, and was looking for an interview from the head of an HR company.
So good.
Yeah. I think, and obviously Nick went along with it. Bosco held him up, fucking kidnapped him, all that shit. But I think that's a prime example because I think willing to lose, I'm always willing to lose when I feel like someone's giving me something.
Yeah.
You know, if like role play is a give and take kind of creation, it's one of them things that if you're giving me something to go off, even if I know deep down my character's getting fucked over, I'm more than likely gonna go with it. You know, like I'm more than likely gonna go with it because it's one of them things where I feel like you're giving me something to go off here. Whereas, you know, it'd be different if I'm in a scenario where, you know, there's no role play going on and I know I'm going to get fucked over. I just think it's one of them things that you kind of go with. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah. I with that scene in particular, where I get the call and you're like, you know, putting on a fake accent.
Hello,
and this whole thing,
how are you doing?
Yeah. Like to me, that is just like 100 times out of 100, I'm going to do whatever you're requesting. Like 100 times out of 100. Because, and not because it's you, but because it's something that is, we're going to be able to flesh out into a storyline, right? Like it's like, it could be a small little story arc, but that's the kind of things like the more that I do roleplay that interests me is like, okay, if I can take this like small little seed and go boom. And I've talked about this a lot too, but the fact that we're on two separate sides of the world, you know what I mean? In a way, like, and we're like, you know, we're able to meet in this server and create something that's like really like a beautiful, like little storyline. It blows my mind. Like every time it happens. And, I've never met, you know, especially if you've never met the people and you just go through this whole like moment and that like, I don't know if, as long as there is something to it, if you're just trying to screw people over, you just don't get it. And I can tell when that's happening and I'm just like, all right.
I feel like the more you RP,
it, you know?
The more you RP, you kind of figure that out. I don't know what it is. Like, if you said to me 4 years ago when I first started, you know, someone was really giving me a lot of RP and they're gonna screw my character over, you know, would I know the difference then with someone just screwing my character over and someone screwing my character over with role play? I probably would say no.
Yeah.
But now, after role playing for not many years, but a couple of years, I know the difference now when someone's just trying to screw me over and someone's trying to screw me over with role play. If the with role play is there, I'll go to the end of the earth with you. You know, like I'll get the nines. I'll fucking do some crazy wacky shit because I know there's actually a meaning to this. There's something going on the other side of that character that someone's trying to flesh out, you know? Like often I've played characters that wear glasses, and then the glasses have fallen off in a police chase, and a police officer's been like, "We're over here," and I've ran into the police car and sat down, and they've locked the doors. You know, like.
Yep.
The police officer doesn't have to do that. They don't have to be like, "We're over here, you know, we have your glasses in the car." If they don't do that, I just keep running, fall over, whatever. But it's given and taken. And I think knowing when to give is great, but knowing when to take is probably just even more important when it comes to that kind of role play.
Yeah. One of the characters that I saw that with you was your first character. Our first character I met you on was Bosco Murphy. I want you to explain, like, because there's gonna be some people don't know Bosco, and I want you to explain, like, who Bosco is or what you view him as, and then also the first time that we met, if you remember.
I remember, yeah. So Bosco Murphy is an inner city. So I'm from Dublin, in Ireland, and Bosco Murphy is based off the kind of gangster TV show Love Hate. It's an Irish TV show. And Bosco is based off a couple of different characters, different bits of bobs of all of them. And he is an inner city young gangster who can't read or write and is basically supposed to be the bottom of the barrel criminal. He's supposed to do little heists, and slowly but surely maybe climb. But when he climbs, the plan is to permit him. That has always been the plan. Spoiler alert, I permit him on New Day.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
He is one of the funny things that I wanted to do is when I created Bosco, I wanted to do something different that he couldn't read or write, but I wanted him to be a rapper. And because I wanted that conversation to be, when I'm chatting to the police or whatever, they'd be like, "But you're a rapper. What do you mean you can't read or write?" And Bosco would be like, "I just talk into me dictaphone, like the little recorder, Yeah. So I always wanted him to be like, this fella's a fucking lunatic. I wanted him to challenge his thought process. With Bosco, he never meant to get to certain heights that he got to. He was always supposed to be on a bicycle, never meant to own a car, never meant to get where he was supposed to be. He was supposed to be the bottom of the barrel character. And somewhat, he kind of, in New Day, for example, when we met, so prior to you joining New Day, I was there for about probably a year before you got there or whatever. Bosco got to a point where he hit rock bottom and he was like 20,000 in debt. He just got out after doing the nines. He was like bottom of the barrel criminal struggling. And he, in Bosco fashion, went into Burger Shot, held him up at knife point and demanded a job. And from there, he got a job in Burger Shot and like became like this sort of invigorated character. It's one of them things that I think you have a backstory fleshed out, you have, traits, pros, cons, all these things, and then a role play arc happens with your character. You just go with it. Yeah. So from there, Bosco wasn't, I work in Burger Shot now. I have a job. I'm not standing on a street corner selling weed. He thought like this was it. He was the first person ever in his family to get a job. That sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So like he climbed the charts, and then I bumped into you, and he was a part of the Murphys.
Yep.
And the Murphys, excuse me, a part of the Murphys, and they had their own gang, a kind of family, Irish kind of family crew.
Which, by the way, this for anybody, like, I don't want this to be underplayed, because for you it might be like normal to like hear that amount of like Irish accents in one place. You know what I mean? But when I met the entire Murphys, it was one of the most immersive experiences ever, because you just go into this like little alleyway and you're like, they're running this alley. This is like crazy. But I'll let you continue. But I just wanted everyone to know, like, it was like a very immersive experience meeting this crew, like for anybody,
Yeah. The reason a New Day, for example, we couldn't have a full Irish crew because we didn't want to, eliminate possibilities of other people joining us who had, were from different countries. We made it very minuscule. We made it like if you have 0.05% DNA Irish genes, you can join the crew, But we had a lot of Irish people. Now, I had a TikTok go viral on New Day, and a lot of Irish people reached out and were like, "What server are you playing on?" And a few actually joined the server.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. That's cool.
From that day, and like at one point we had like 6 or 7 actual Irish people in the crew, and I mean a couple of people from Dublin, a couple of people from Midlands Ireland, and a couple of people from the back arse of nowhere. So like their Irish accent compared to mine is a lot different. They'd be like, "How you getting on?" Do you know? So like when somebody who's not from Ireland arrives down to a lane in the middle of fucking, where was it? It was actually the docks, wasn't it, near the docks?
Well, no, because it was Murphy's Lane.
Fudge Lane. No, near Fudge Lane.
Yeah, I know exactly where it's at because there's a common like place, and any of my like consistent viewers will know. We call it Frigid because it's like it goes right under a spot where there's like a big sign that says Frigid, and we call it that, and it's like a big block that we do all the time. But whenever I go down there, I just always think of like Murphy's Lane, and some of the guys that were on New Day with me, like they'll be like, "Oh, bro, Murphy's Lane, man," like, and so it's like that alleyway of like. That area where it goes under, and then there's those boxes, like it's like a freezer area, like for freezer trucks. And so it's right in there.
Yeah, the gang though, like it was supposed to be that sort of low tier gang. Like we done some fucking cool RP, man. Like I'm very skeptical of joining gangs on RP. I really am. I'm very cautious of joining gangs with Bosco, with John, with anyone, because I don't enjoy the RP of standing around on a street corner holding down territory or holding down the yellow jack or, whatever it may be, or even leading gangs. I feel like leading gangs is another ball game altogether, which is tough. So I think with what worked well with the Murphys was it was like delinquents left, right, and center all merged together. And we were like we were doing heists on, like, we were doing these creative heists. And like, I always said to the lads, listen, I'm willing to do a gang OOC. I said to the lads, I'm willing to do a gang, but I'm not going to be another standard bogged down fucking gang and New Day. If we're going to do something, we're going to do it differently. And boy, fuck did we do it differently. Some of the shit we done, like we had this creative heist where we'd rob Go Postal drivers. Now, in New Day, you didn't get anything off Go Postal drivers. The only thing you got off Go Postal drivers was a box. In that box was nothing. So, in our fucking storage container, we had a box, loads of boxes of absolutely nothing. And we'd be
so badass, though. Oh my God, that's so cool.
We'd be holding like knives to the delivery drivers. They'd be like, why are you doing this? Like, where's the PS5s? Where's the PS5s? They're like, these fuckers not realize there's nothing in this. So
the guy's like, dude, there's no game mechanic for this. He's like saying that. Dude, it's so funny because you're like, you can RP out. That's how people used to have to do things, bro. Before all these mechanics were in the game and that kind of stuff. They would just grab that box, right? They go /me cuts open box, and then they go. I would probably go roll for like I would roll for how like great of loot it was. You know what I mean? And that we'd all be like, yo, it's a 10 or something like that. I think that's where the mechanics sometimes screw people over. Because it like
people are mechanic heavy as well.
It's bad right now. It's real, and it's just kind of where the servers have taken it because they kind of guide that. Mechanics aren't bad as long as the people around them can use them as a tool, not that the mechanics are using the player. And
100%.
It's and so many times like it's like they're using the player. So like I'll do something like that, right? And the guy's like trying to explain to me, he's like, "Oh, it doesn't work that way." You're like, "Yeah, no, it does right now," Or like there's been a couple times recently, dude. I've been role playing it, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, or someone said, "Oh, I spilt my Coke can in the car," like, and that's why we're talking to the cops about something or whatever. And then the cop goes like, "I don't see a Coke can," and then so I go, "Okay," so I make a scene.
Thanks for that. Yeah,
Coke can. I go, "Oh look, a Coke can."
Yeah, it appeared.
Like, bro, just come on, man.
Go
just
with it.
Yeah. And that's I don't know. That's just kind of. It's been a gripe of mine for a while with the mechanics, and that's why like I've challenged myself recently to not do that. And I thought I actually thought of you when I did this because I thought you would have enjoyed this, but I got sent to jail and spent a whole day in jail, like a 8 hour, like 7 hours, 8 hour stream in jail. and our goal was to like make people not be able to do any jobs to speed up their time. So like, so we kind of like locked it down, but nobody even wanted to because we were giving them like
because they were enjoying it.
Yeah, dude. Some people stayed in there, like they had like 5 months. There's like 5 minutes, and they stayed in there all day. You know, and they found like a way to they're like, screw this, bro. It's way more fun in here, you know? And I think that kind of taught me for like the rest of the week because I was on like parole the whole week. So then I had to work like at a restaurant. And I'm like,
yeah, I love it.
I'm like, okay, like we can go down this path and work at a restaurant. And it's probably been some of the most like the best RP I've like done in a long time because you're just like going with your storyline that's being presented to you. And then you're just knocking that out of the park. Now, as a streamer, it's a little scary because you're like, oh man, if I don't do heists, are people gonna like it? Or if I don't do like get chased by the cops, so some people won't want to. And what I realize is like that's actually way less important. Like the heists and stuff like that, no one's gonna remember that. They'll remember when I worked at Chambers
100%.
Restaurant and all the funny moments that happened. And so, and I will too. You know,
100%. It's like I think if you're creative. It may take you a day, a couple of days, maybe, you know, to take a little think about it. What will I do? What am I going to do here? But you will do some. You know, you will find the way. You know, I think if you're leaning too much on the mechanics or, you know, you're leaning... Listen, I think I'm a big fan of Red Dead. You know I am. I think Red Dead is perfect because it's slow.
Yeah.
And you don't have this expectation of... Well, I need to do this, and this, you know? Like, if you are going to a random Go Postal driver and you're fucking holding them up for boxes in the back, you know, what's the meaning of this? Why are you doing this? Like, you know, like we kind of just wanted us to, like, the main goal with that gang was I wanted us to start off slow. I didn't want us to like, okay, we're robbing banks. And I'm like, okay, we're a gang 2 days and we're robbing banks. Like,
yeah.
Do you know, I wanted us to have a little bit build up. So like, then we started robbing clothing stores. And a New Day, actually, a really good mechanic they have is if you take off your jacket, you can put that jacket in your bag.
So good, dude.
So we were going around selling off market Gucci jackets that we got in off the back of a Go Postal truck. You know, or Nike shoes.
Is so creative. That is like. Yeah, I would not have thought of that. That's really good.
There goes
That's
really
good.
By the way,
you're fine. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I just elbowed it off the desk because it was just, you know,
you got too excited. You're like, these damn Go Postal drivers. I just got to find a way to rob them, man. I got to find a way to rob these bastards.
I can't sleep without these fucking Go Postal drivers. But yeah, like, so like, I think that sort of RP, man, that's why like gang shit never appealed to me. Yep. Because I never thought that was like, not that it wasn't possible, but like, that's where my brain goes. Like, when I was on New Day, when I first started, I met a character. Oh, fuck, I can't forget his name. He's going to kill me. But he was a smashing character. And basically, within like a couple of weeks of being on New Day, Bosco was going in to rob the hospital of ketamine. You can't get ketamine. It's not a fucking thing.
Yeah.
But Bosco's best ever high he got in his life was at a rave 6 years ago, and he got a lot of ketamine. And people told him the only ketamine he could get was at the hospital. So Bosco was willing to go, you know, so like I realized like that's the role play I enjoy, you know, more so than standing on street corners. So when the Murphys became a thing, it kind of meshed into that weirdness of let's do some weird shit. And like we started a gang war got kind of put on us. We were beating them up with baseball bats. We escalated it properly. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I remember actually the first time you came down to Murphy's Lane, I think you knew one of the lads in the crew. Yep. And Bosco didn't know you, and Bosco didn't like you, nor did he like any of the lads that you were with. Yep. Bosco had his top off, his balaclava on, the way he does.
Yep.
And he was kind of pressing you, being like, but what the fuck? Because you were, you know, as you should do on every server, not just think you know things. Go and ask people. Have conversations. Have dialogue. It may be good or it may be bad for your character, but do it. And yous came down and Bosco was like, why the fuck are we telling these anything? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Fuck these new crew coming down here and asking us questions. Fuck them. What can you do for us? And then one of yous were like, we got weed. Or something like that. Or he was like, hold on. All right. you got weed? And then from there, like, one thing I loved differently with your guy, your crew and our crew was both of us love a cinematic scene.
Yep.
So we started doing like meetings where we were meeting and like, I know it's only like 100 bags of weed and you can carry it on your person, but it means a lot more if I'm carrying a suitcase full of money,
Yep.
you know, and you've got all this weed and we meet under a fucking spot because the cops might catch us with it. Or, you know, that's what I really enjoyed about role playing with you and that crew, was because it was that sense of, you know, okay, let's make a scene out of this. Let's not just turn this into a quick, okay, I'm going to flip these bags and I'm going to turn it into 15K and I'm going to go buy a new fucking car. No, let's make a scene out of this where, one, someone might get wind of it and rob us and both of us get fucked over. Two, we might be walking into a trap, you fuck us over. Or three, the fucking police have something to investigate. You know, so that's
one of the worst parts about like being able to send money over like a app on these games I love setting up moments where people can rob us or like they can screw us over, and it creates this whole thing. Not that I don't want them to do it for no reason, you know what I mean? But I want it to be a possibility. So like we've done recently like a meth like empire. And what we did was we would like, or what we still do is anytime we transport, we have like a caravan going. Like, so you see big trucks, you see like, I even have we have like a Walter White, like, you know, journey, like, or like the RVs, you know? And so we drive that down so that like other people know. And it's happened like where either the cops kind of catch on, like, what the hell is this like big convoy going through the city, or like even like other gangs have like found us because of that or whatever. And we always, now we bring like briefcases for those like big sales. So like if somebody were to rob us, they'd find a bunch, like, literally, now they're listening to this, they're like, oh, fucking, you know, but like, you know, they would find literally like hundreds of thousands of dollars of briefcases, and the briefcases actually work, you know.
That's the reason you're doing it.
Exactly. Like we really could care less about money, like in the game. Like I don't really care to buy the $1 million cars in the server or the whatever. It's more about the stress that like the viewers feel and I feel during that, like, you know, intense, like, okay, we're going through the hills, we're all going, and we could get hit at any point is awesome,
stopped.
You know?
You get stopped.
Yeah.
Like, how good is it when you have so much fucking drugs on you and you get pulled over by the police?
Absolutely.
And you're in the front seat and the officer's talking to you. They may have no idea you have a fuck ton of drugs in the trunk, and you're like sweating, you know, your car, like I sometimes do. T/me looks in the mirror at the trunk. T/me starts to sweat.
Dude,
you know,
thank you.
like, you know,
Absolutely.
like, so like fucking the cop is like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? You know, there is nothing.
I love giving those cues, dude. Those cues make cops like, I think it gives the cops so much more options, you know? So
I think,
cool.
I think cops have it tough. Have you ever played a cop?
Bodie was a cop for like 2 weeks.
Don't talk about Bodie on this fucking podcast.
We got to talk about that too. But I don't like the cop organization of how it works right now. I don't like that I have to do things that I like. You kind of feel like I have to go to this ping. And a lot of times it's just, I like being able to be like, I have to create everything for my character. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I haven't tried in a long time, so that could change. I feel like I probably could create within it, but it feels limiting, in my opinion.
It is, and I think it's not the easiest form of lazy role play. Is that a fair way of saying it? Poor cops are getting lashed out, but I don't mean it like that. Listen, I've done cop. I done it for a fair amount of time with Donald Langer. Donald,
such a good character.
Donald Langer, please, would you mind stop shouting at me? But like, I done it with him, and the beauty of him was he was set up to fail. You know, like 2 months in a police force, 0 arrests. You know, like, I think, you know, with cops, I like giving them cues because I know how difficult it can be for them. And I think, like, you know, it's sometimes easy to have lazy role play as a cop because you're getting, all you got to do is make a character and you turn up at a scene and you could be in a gunfight. You're now involved in a heavy arc, you know, like, by responding to somebody doing something. So, like, I think sometimes it's hard for cops to get into role play outside of their character, outside of being a cop. And I think if you're doing a cop, I think that should be your priority. I think having a storyline or even like some internal shit, like you're trying to overthrow the CEO as a recruit, or like you're trying to fucking create a community policing, or you're trying to do like probation, a probation officer, a parole officer, whatever you're trying to do. So the reason I kind of give them the cues is because it's tough, but also I think like people buying drugs and they use the bank app to sell you, to send you 250k. Like, I think they should be punished for that. Like, I think cops should be able to, like, I don't know whether this is a thing in real life because I've never sent that much money before. but like,
I've never had that problem either. So I mean.
Yeah, but like, if you send a certain amount of money to somebody in a bank transaction, and it's like a lot of money. Surely somewhere someone looks at that and is like,
huh.
Yeah.
This guy's got no job and he's sending like $500,000 to somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wish that could be fleshed out more in RP. I wish that would cut it out, because I think like the scenes we had where like you would turn up with like, a lot of product and we'd have a lot of money and we'd have like this whole convoy leading us from A to B. I think that's really, really fun for me. And yeah, sorry, I think we're on the Bosco gang thing, but I think this is good. Yeah. That's the role play I like. And the reason that gang suited it is because they had the same aspirations. They didn't have aspirations for their character. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. No one wanted the flashy cars. No one wanted, like, we were all going around on push bikes at some point with baseball bats. No one wanted anything flashy. We just wanted to create fun scenes that would then lead to something, which it did in the demise of Bosco Murphy.
Yeah.
Which you were a part of.
I was. That? One of the best scenes that we had on Bosco was the hospital scene that we had. You remember that? Where you call me and you're crazed out of your mind, insane, like cracked out of your mind, insane, more than normal. And he calls me, he's like, he said something like, you gotta get to the hospital right now. And Bosco and I at that point had kind of become like pretty good, like good little like business relationship kind of a thing, and like kind of friends. I would say like the characters hadn't become like crazy friends, but like close enough. But we basically like, I broke you or helped you break out of the hospital. I forget what exactly happened, but you like broke some glass in there, like /me broke some glass and then held up the like nurse or something like that, or the doctor. Did we throw him in the trunk or something?
Yeah, but we threw him out in the middle of nowhere.
I wish I had that stuff. I don't know if I have that clip.
I'm sure I have it somewhere, but I just think like at that stage with Bosco, like so the kind of story of Bosco was he was a really low, small criminal, really, really small, hit rock bottom, got the nines. I can't remember why he got the nines for, but he got the nines, came out in a heap of debt, got a job in Burger Shot, started to rap, started becoming more fucking like, I'm not this low tier criminal anymore. I can make more of myself. So I kind of flowed with that RP. He became manager of Burger Shot, then got fired from Burger Shot for trying to assassinate the owner to take over. And then after he got fired from Burger Shot, the Murphys came around, but it was too late for the Murphys because at that stage, Bosco loved Burger Shot more than anything because it saved him. And he started leaning on drugs too much. And he always had the saying, don't get high on your own supply, but started to get high on his own supply, which then led to him making crazy decisions. And like, what better way to do that than for someone who has been chasing a family his whole life, never had a family, to then have a family and be killed by his own family. I really wanted it to go in full circle. I wanted to make decisions that the family were like, he's really like pushing us away, because he didn't know how to connect. He was in and out of prison. That was his whole backstory. He didn't know how to connect with people. He knew the street. That's all he knew. And I wanted it to go in full circle with him to the point where he would get so comfortable that I've made it. I'm a fucking rapper. I was the manager of Burger Shot. I've got my own gang. I'm at the top right now. Nobody can touch me. And then gets killed by his own family. So
it's such a beautiful story. It really is. It's cool.
R.I.P.
Yeah, dude, it was a great character. I think How do you feel about New Day, by the way? I don't know if that's like too loaded of a question, but I personally, I'll give you my thoughts first, and then maybe you can,
Okay,
that'll like
yeah.
soften the blow of you saying
Yeah.
something. But I liked New Day a lot. I think the thing that I didn't connect well with on New Day was the hyper realism that they went for, right? So
Mhm.
it's a very realistic, serious roleplay server. And I think I'm just looking for like a semi serious thing that we can kind of dip into that serious side, but we don't have to always like say I fall out of my car, I don't have to RP out a long like surgery or something like that. Or like, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? I feel like I don't know. It was just a little too serious. And I felt like that kind of created a place where there was a lot of standard type mentality versus bigger storylines, you know. Now I'll say this as a caveat. I wasn't super deep into the server yet, or I wasn't like I spent like a year plus, but I played quite a bit of it. And I just never really saw that, yeah, that side, like a side of it that wasn't like a lot of standing. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I think every server out there has its pros and cons, and I'm yet to come across a perfect
Yeah.
RP server.
Same.
Personally, I think with New Day, my issue was I recently got asked to go back to it by a couple of friends because I'm trying to find me place in, like, I've been on Red Dead for so long. The standard on Red Dead is it's hard to match in some way. I think when you come across a really good role player on Red Dead, it's hard to compare to a really good role player on GTA. So at the moment, I'm like trying to take a break from Red Dead. I think it's, I work a full-time job.
Yeah.
I have a lot of hobbies outside of streaming. It's really tough to get on Red Dead and get shit done in 3 hours.
Yep.
Like it's really tough. So I'm trying to get back into the GTA world, and friends reach out to me like, why don't you try New Day? The problem with New Day was I think it's very clicky, and it's clicky to the point of like it's hard to meet new people.
Yep.
And I play characters that like go up to a group of people and be like, hello, how are you? Like I'm just waiting for someone to tell me to fuck off or, give me some sort of direction. And with New Day, it was that. And then I think, I've had some really good RP on New Day, but it's just I've had better experience on different servers, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's fair enough. It's kind of like, I feel like it's always like a for me or not for me situation. You know what I mean? It's not that there are servers that are god awful trash and some of
Yeah.
them are kind of, dangerous for people too with some of the staff that's out there. But like the New Day or like a lot of the servers that I've played on, some of them are just not for me. Like Prodigy was not for me, like,
Why not?
it was super grindy.
Yeah, sorry, without like fucking throwing you under the bus there. Hopefully I didn't.
Oh, no. I mean, no, for me, it was very grindy. I realized I don't want to be on a server where I have to wait in a queue anymore. Like, I can't do that. I hate that the server now owns my time that I stream and when I go to live and when I hate that. I don't like playing with that whole thing. My stream is my stream, and the moment that like I have to put that around like a server reset, I'm good. I don't want to do that. And so that was a huge deal. And then just the interactions that I had, and it could be a me thing, 100% could be a me thing, but the interactions I had, it was just really hard to get people to go on like a day adventure. And I would, you would really set something out there for somebody, and it was like, okay, you have a boost to go do, or you have a thing to go do. Alongside some of the mechanics when I was around, things have changed over there. But when I was around, it was like the bank robberies. You would go into a queue, and then you would have to wait 3 hours for the bank.
Jeez, well, I'd be fucked. I'd be offline by then.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I'm like, half my crew is like, I'm going to bed, dude. What do you mean? I'm gonna go play fucking the Valorant or something like that, or whatever, or I'm gonna go like live a real life, or something. And so it just got kind of hard. I'm sure there's a lot of things that have been fixed since I've been over there, so I can't really say anything about it now. I'm sure it's great. But it just wasn't my thing. And so with servers right now, that's kind of where I landed back at Rush Hour, and it was kind of unfortunate the timing that you were trying it was because there was a big DDoS situation that happened, like crazy bad DDoS situation, and the server dipped down to like around like 50 average people.
I
And
was
then at your
struggling to
time,
find people.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then at your time too, like on like the GMT time zone, it was like really even more rough. So
Mm.
lately it's built up quite a bit more, which is cool. But
Well, you know,
but
you may see me and a couple of friends over there because right now I'm on Onyx, okay?
yeah,
And I'm not gonna lie, but fucking loving Onyx.
I've heard it's
One thing,
great. I've heard it's good.
there's a
But
lot of characters who are wacky, and like I do well with wacky. Maybe it's a me
yeah,
thing. Maybe I'm a wacky bastard myself, but I do well with wacky, and I give. If someone gives, I'll give 10% more to try flesh out a scene. Problem is queues,
yeah.
and you know, like you've really got to be lucky. So yeah, I think you know if I asked you a question and you had to name three things that makes a good RP server, what would it be? You know,
Um, I would say application. Getting into an application has to be hard enough to where it just weeds out the shitters and stuff. And then it's got to be easy enough to where the good role players still want to do it. So I would say that's like step number one because that's the gate, right? That's the gate to get in. I would say second is business model. I should not have to pay for anything that I role play for. So
mm-hmm.
like when it comes to cars or when it comes to business or when it comes to a property or when it comes to, I should not have to pay for any of that.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, the server, it's up to them to create a business model that is sustainable outside of those things. That's one thing about New Day that I felt like was actually pretty good. It didn't feel like I had to pay for things as I progressed,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know. Those are the people building your server, Those are the people
Mm-hmm.
building your whole thing. And yeah. And then the last one would be the like the role play quality is really centered upon the people that you make the stars of your server. So your streamers and stuff like that will kind of encourage the things. So people will see them role playing out, as a civ and making that really interesting and really badass. And you're gonna all of a sudden see a spike in civs if you have someone who's doing a lot of crime or a lot of like criminal activity. If they're doing that really badass or if they're doing that really bad, you'll see that play out within your
Mm-hmm.
server as well.
Yeah, the culture.
Yeah, because your streamers are your advertising, right? That's just the
Mm-hmm.
reality of it. Is uh however those streamers are and the ones that you allow to be the stars is how your server is going to kind of end up trending. And that
Yeah.
was something similar with Prodigy. You had a lot of the chain gang guys like over kind of overarching it. And so you saw a lot of similar
Role play.
characters to that. Yeah. And so, but I think a good server, it's kind of hard because you want it to be such great role play, but you also need people.
Mm-hmm.
And also some of these like standard type people sometimes do the little mechanic things that everything needs to happen, like not like actual like mechanic fixing cars, but like
Mm-hmm.
the mechanics. But is there a way for that all to be like high quality role play? I think so. And it bums me out to see when you see some people who just shut down scenes over and over again. They're just taking up a spot, in my opinion, and
Yeah.
it's something to think about as a server.
Yeah. I think people like that need to be not like fizzled out, but like brought in and like, you know, like, do you understand why that isn't good? No, not just like, I think sometimes, you know, I'm hesitant sometimes in making tickets on servers.
I never do. Yeah, I never do.
I'm hesitant sometimes because I'm like, you know, listen, I don't want anyone getting in fucking trouble unless you're an arsehole and you say something completely out of pocket. Then
Yeah,
yeah, no problem. Fuck you, gone, goodbye, see you later. But I'm hesitant to get people in trouble over like standard of roleplay because I hate to be like this person who like gatekeeps roleplay. You know,
yeah,
I don't want to be like, look at me, I'm the fucking cheese. I know what I'm doing. No, I don't. I make mistakes
yeah,
all the time. I'm not perfect. So like, I sometimes I'm skeptical on whether or not I should make tickets. But like people who are shutting down roleplay, people who are, you know, just being like, leave me alone, man. You know, like aren't giving you the time of day, aren't giving people the time of day. Like the other day, for example, I was on a server, not going to name it, but I was in getting food in a restaurant and like my character, John, is very grumpy, walks in, just grunts at the person, asks for food. and the person's just standing on their phone. And John's like, "Are you going to take my fucking order, or are you going to stand there on your fucking Twinsta all day?" You know?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the person was like, "I don't answer to you." And I was like, "Well, if you don't answer to me, go get your boss, because I want to fucking talk to them. Do you work
Yeah.
here?" And they're like, "I'm not on the clock." And I was like, "Then why the fuck you standing behind the counter?" So John then therefore jumps over the counter. So now I'm standing beside them, and I'm like, they're like, "Well, I am working." So John then jumps on the other side of the counter, and they were like, "Well," John's like, I'm gonna call head office, and I'm gonna tell head office you're fucking just standing there at the, and they're like, "Head office doesn't exist." And then I'm like, and I'm like, "Okay, head office doesn't exist. Where's your manager?" And they're like, "Well, it's not like I can get fired. There's nobody here, because in the game you have to clock on to go in and work behind the counter. You can't really get fired, because there isn't a manager, there isn't an owner." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So this person's like,
It's just it's like a game mechanic is what it is.
Yeah. So what I'm gathering is this person was playing it really like, which is okay. A character that hates their life, doesn't want to be working there. Perfect. Do that shit.
Yeah.
I love going into restaurants and people being difficult with customers.
Yep, absolutely.
But don't lean on the fact that you can't get fired. What do you mean you can't get fired? So like, it's just like people like that should be brought into a ticket, and then it should be explain your rationale here, and then explain role play. Because what you're doing right now isn't kind of role play. You're not enabling any scene here, like an education process. That's what I would like tickets to be. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, it's actually a good way to look at it, because I was talking with one of the owners of Rush Hour, and they were talking about tickets and stuff like that. Oh, hey, if you see those things, you put in a ticket. And I'm like, bro, two things. Like, I don't like to get people in trouble. Same thing like you're saying, right? I don't like to be that guy who's just, oh yeah, I don't want to be the ticket guy, for one. But
the ticket guy.
Those people, what? Bro. There's people like that, bro. They're like,
that's a new character.
That's actually, that'd be so funny.
That'd be a sick character, the ticket guy, who just goes around being like, "You're actually being really boring right now. I'm giving you a ticket."
Yeah. But like, and then also there's the other side of it. I don't want to be like, if you get pulled into a ticket from one of the streamers on the server, you feel like that's kind of weird. It's kind of like, obviously the server's going to want to make sure that streamers are happy, and if you're just like someone trying to role play, and this streamer's complaining about something and the streamer's wrong and doesn't realize it, it's just a really bad experience, and there could be some like bias there. It just makes me feel like I just want to avoid that as much as possible.
That's a really humble way of looking at it, man. See, not many people would look at it like that, Yeah. Some people do use power as their advantage, or eyes on them as their advantage. That, like, not many people do that.
I hate it. I hate like anytime there's like any admin involvement, and a lot of like my community like knows this, but I start to shy away from it. Like, I shut it down a lot. Like, one of the server owners talks about it sometimes. I'm like, I don't want free shit. I don't want your spawned in item. I don't want any free car. I don't want anything like that. If I can't get, if I didn't stream and I just played and I can't get it, you know what I mean? Then I shouldn't be able to get it if I'm like streaming,
Yeah.
Two reasons for that. One, it kind of just ruins the like whole like legitimacy of the role play, in my opinion. It's kind of like when you script things, it's not the same vibe.
Wait, role play isn't scripted?
Yeah, I know, right? Bro, people think that, but yeah. And then the other one is it kind of the people in the server start to disrespect the streamers, Like, I think that's like it's kind of jacked up for streamers to just use that and just get a leg up above other people. And I try to avoid it, as much as I possibly can. There's some things that just happen where, like, maybe somebody has bias towards me, or or whatever. I get that, and I try to mitigate it as much as I can, because I hate that somebody would see that and be like, "Oh man, Nick just gets free stuff because he's streaming," or Nick gets this, or like Nick's using that, or that. I would hate if another streamer was doing that. So
it's a level playing field in RP. That's the way it should be.
Yeah, it should be that. Absolutely. You shouldn't, because you have more money outside of the city, or more, or a stream or whatever. The The one thing I want to make sure we talk about before we go, there's actually two things because I'm kind of scheduled for an hour, so I don't want to go too far over. But if you got a little bit of time, that'd be cool.
Yeah, work away, bro.
Red Dead roleplay. A lot of my people have not heard much about Red Dead roleplay. They've seen a little bit of me do it in the past, but a lot of people probably haven't. You know, I want to hear your kind of take on. Obviously, John Finnegan is one of like the most creative characters I think I've seen anybody play. I'll be real. Like anytime I see it, and the way I would explain him is like just this really like gruff, menacing, like preacher, man of God who might think he is God. At some points, that line gets blurred. And this, the way you play him it just sends people immediately into immersion. And I think that's like something that, especially when people are playing characters that are voices, is a very difficult thing to do because that's not only like improv, right? That's acting at that point. And not all role players are good actors, and I think that's something that you have that's really cool. But kind of explain, we've already talked a little bit about John Finnegan in terms of backstory and stuff, but yeah, explain Red Dead roleplay and what got you kind of into that. Do you think it's harder than GTA roleplay? Do you think it's all those kinds of things?
What got me into Red Dead roleplay was just what you said, immersion. When I go into a roleplay server, I want to be gripped. I want to be in a zone that I feel like I am that character. It's a weird, I know it's a weird way of thinking of it, but like I think like with Red Dead, the map is so much better. The design, it's a bit newer than GTA. It's fucking beautiful. The setting, the era. I think it should be easier. On paper, it should be easier to roleplay.
Yeah.
Because you are taken from modern day society. You are put on a fucking horse that rides like a donkey because you can't afford horses until you grind your balls off. And you are dropped in an immersive setting. It should be easier. Is it easier? No.
Yeah.
I think I've been on some good RP servers and I've been on some bad, and I've bumped into some good RPers and some bad RPers. And I think like for me, I just want people to try, man. Like just try, saying bro 5 times in a sentence, it kills me. Fucking kills me. Like, because like I've put a lot into John. Like, I've put a fucking lot into John. Like when I originally started John, it was about 2.5 years ago. He was a scammy priest on GTA, and I was like, maybe I could make him into something so much fucking more. So I looked at him, I tweaked him, I even changed the voice. I tried the voice more, and I got to this fucking juicy character that. He is everything you described. He is so far removed from, he's been hunting evil his whole life that he has became it. And he's using God as that means to deliver his evil. And like I that voice, the grumble, the how's it fucking going, the aggression and everything. He could be saying a compliment to you, but it's aggressive. It's letting, I think one great thing you can do in RP is you can let someone know what type of character you are within the first 10 seconds of speaking to them. And you don't need to do that by telling them your whole fucking backstory. Walk into a saloon, someone asks you, how's it going? And John's out there having a fucking day. And he's like, how's it fucking going? How about you fuck off and leave me alone? I'm trying to have a drink. Like it's it's like, that's what I love about him, and I love that he's so fleshed out and so detailed that I cannot be anything other than John. I can't be myself. Myself cannot dip into it. I'm purely in him, and I think the easiest part of that is I'm in 1900. I'm not 1900 or whatever, and my way would be that Red Dead would overrule GTA and it would be so much better, but it isn't. It's one of them things. It's like, listen, Wild RP. I don't know whether you've ever seen Wild RP.
Yep. Yeah.
Wild RP. We have a running joke on my stream at the moment.
Hold on 1 second. Actually, I unplugged my headphones.
All right, you're all good.
1 sec.
By the way, this isn't purple drank.
It's not purple drank.
No, this is just like a normal like dilute for anyone who's wondering. Maybe
Sorry
cute
about
out
that, bro.
maybe cute at the start of the stream. Maybe like this is not a purple drink.
Yeah, this is not.
Well, I didn't get this
Like,
in fucking
damn.
Grove Street. I didn't get this in Grove Street. You know.
Okay, you were saying Wild RP though. Wild RP.
Yeah, it's a running joke in my stream at the moment about Wild RP. I applied last year, 2 years ago, and you have to do an interview on Wild RP. I applied, got accepted 3 times, didn't turn up to the interview because part of me thought maybe I'm too good for interviews. I don't want to do interviews. I don't know what it was. But I just was like, I don't want to do an interview to get on a roleplay server, so I didn't do them.
Really?
So now yeah.
Wait. So you got accepted, but that was the last part of it.
Was to do an interview, yeah.
And you just didn't want to do it?
3 times. Not once.
Do you think it's kind of cringy?
Twice.
Is that what you think?
Cringy, but also like, I don't know.
But just get through the interview and then you can role play on the server.
I know, man. Like, I wish applications could just be like, let me send you a scene, watch the scene, I can role play.
Yeah.
You know, like having to sit in an interview, like feeling like I'm being judged or something. I don't know. It's
okay.
Maybe
Yeah, I see that. I see that.
It's an internal thing with me. Maybe I don't know what it is, but I
like
just
a principle kind of a thing. Yeah.
Maybe not even a principle. Maybe it's just like some shit I got to deal with that I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? But I didn't do it. And I regret not doing it now because I've applied 5 times since and I've been denied each time with the same application.
They're like, this bastard, he stood us up. He stood us up on the interview, bro.
But Wild RP, like, that is the fucking prime RP server for anyone who wants to get on like heavy RP, like strong characters, strong actors. That's the server. And, you know, I think expecting that going on to a different roleplay server, which I did, is unfair. And it's unfair on other characters and it's unfair on other role players. But, you know, I just thought when I got into roleplay on because I watched Wild, I was like, holy fuck, Red Dead it's layers. Yeah. It's layers above GTA. And it's not. And I had a lot of issues on Red Dead. Like I had storylines ruined from fucking stream snipers. I had stories ruined from people just being idiots, you know, like, and you're trying to run some really heavy detailed story. Like we ran like a demon arc for like 4 weeks.
I remember this. Yeah.
It's fucking heavy, man. Like it was heavy shit. It was amazing. And one of the lads kind of took the lead on it and he was setting scenes and stuff before we'd even get there and all, you know, he was doing such fucking cool shit. And like, we'd have people just arriving at a cave in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like,
yeah,
you know, just like, so like, I think Red Dead could be the best RP you'd ever experience.
Yeah.
But it just depends on like that, the server. And I think GTA's servers are at a point where they're kind of like, they're not gatekeeped better, but there's like a better screening process to get into the servers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the one thing to realize though, like the hard part is when you create really good scenes, people want to be in those scenes at all costs. And that's something that when you'll like, for me, I know I'm like, it's like actually something good and it doesn't happen like all the time. It doesn't happen often, but when it's something really good, you can just feel and it's also the quickest way for it to get ruined, but you feel the people around just trying to find a way into it.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts to become uncool at that point.
Yeah,
when it like all of a sudden, like all these people try to like jump into it without much reasoning. That's when it becomes like, to me, I started to go, all right, let's back off of this.
That's where you take it. And that's where, unfortunately, you could like start the arc, create the arc, be involved in the arc, and then that happens, and then you step away from the arc.
Yeah.
And what could have been will never be.
Yep.
You know, and it's unfortunate. You know, I've had that happen on Red Dead. I've had some amazing fucking storylines happen on Red Dead. You know, I think Red Dead for me is a lot slower, and it's a slow-paced roleplay, and you got to be okay with slow-paced roleplay, and you got to be okay with like meetings. Some people take meetings to another fucking level on Red Dead. It's like working a 9 to 5, like meetings about meetings about meetings about meetings. I love the old cinematics of meetings and stuff, and like the intense feeling of like not being able to phone call someone when you're in shit.
I love that, dude.
Not being able to be on a radio. Like I have a pet peeve with radios, to be honest, on GTA. I think they're overused and abused. Yep. And I think it dilutes roleplay. You, like, walk out on the street, wherever you're living right now, anyone watching this podcast, and look for people being on radios. It's either taxi men, people on trains.
Yeah. No, not even them, bro. Like, barely even them, It's like, it's... I agree with that. That's what the first thing I noticed when I tried Red Dead RP and I loved was that. Like, the fact that I'm just out there and the moment I get screwed over, I'm like screwed over. Or the moment I'm like all of a sudden, like there's a firefight that goes off, you can't sit there, okay, I'm going around the back. Okay, I'm going.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like riding into town, like I find it nothing better than riding into town. At one point, John was hated by the whole server. And that's the way I wanted it to be. I wanted everyone to hate him. I wanted John to walk into towns. And you ever see, like, in old Westerns, people that start, like, closing the shutters?
Yep. Yeah. That's so good.
I wanted that sort of vibe. And it got to that point. In certain towns, John was not welcome. One of the great kind of things that could happen is you're in a saloon. People know John arrives in town. He's in a saloon. Every time he goes into a town, he stops off the church, stops off at the saloon, and gets himself a drink. And I was in a saloon, and people are outside, a gang, and they're like, John Finnegan, and then you're just like, yes,
That's
and
the
it's
thing,
like
dude.
that standoff. That, like, I think a lot more standoffs happen in Red Dead. Where it's like
the shootouts are amazing, by the way, too.
Cinematic as fuck.
Like the shootouts, because it's not like in GTA you get everyone running in a circle and trying to win the shootout.
T/sleep.
Yeah. Oh my god, bro. Yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah. Don't even. Oh my god, bro. So these people doing this stuff is so crazy. But when I got into one, it was literally like bullets are hitting the wood and it's like shooting everywhere, and it's just like you're sitting there, you're like yelling over them, you're like, saying like stuff like back and forth. It's just like, it was just so much more interesting than any shootout I've ever been in GTA. And I think it's centered kind of around this idea, in my opinion, with Red Dead, that you don't have all those mechanics, so you actually have to role play. The problem with Red Dead is it's kind of gone to this weird place in a lot of servers where it's the friends hangout. Like, it's like a really strange place, even worse than what GTA has ever been. It's literally, you'll go into Blackwater and there's like 6 people just standing around making jokes that have no reason to be in that time, when you've been given such like a canvas to like paint on that is like so interesting. And you just like use it as a hangout place. It's just so diminishing, And
that's where servers die. That is, for me, that's my biggest pet peeve on Red Dead, is people not trying. Just try. Like, I'm not expecting to go onto servers and people act their fucking life off, try a voice. I think a tip for anyone trying to get into roleplay, my way of thinking of it is try a voice. I think even if you tweak your voice a little bit, I think it helps people. It helps me anyway get into the character a little bit more, get a little more immersed in the character. But I don't even expect that. I just expect you to try. Yeah. Just fucking try. Don't call me bro. Don't call me bruv. Don't call me any of that fucking shit. Just try be a little bit more in that time. And the hangout culture is killing servers. Like, listen, Go Rush RP, when I first started, open server, a lot of big streamers went to it, tried it out. That era for about 3-4 months, the roleplay was solid. Yeah. Solid. Absolutely solid. It was like cinematic storylines, people taking their time, being patient, and I hate using this phrase, but not many self-inserts. There's a lot of self-inserts. Just people.
That's like the one time period to not do a self-insert. Like when I did Leslie, is like, hello there, my name's Lily, and I'm here to go ahead and rob your ass, or something. He was like a crazed like criminal, And for me, I'm like, dude, this is the time to play a character that's like larger than life, or like a serious character, or like something that you're not. And when I go in there and I see people having that same mentality as like a GTA server of like grinding their ass off to the point where they got the golden gun and the cool horse and then the thing. And I'm like, you have no like understanding of like how lucky we are to have something so immersive and such an interesting thing. It was like unstreamable to me,
Yeah.
at some points, because you would just run into these people and you'd be like, "Hello there, how's it going? How you doing there?" And then they're like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Hey, bro.
I know, man.
You're like,
It
or like you go to the
kills me.
saloon and the guy's like, "Hey, yeah, what do you want, bro?" Hold on.
Yeah.
He's like tabbing over to Valorant or something, like you're like, what? Why are you here? What are you even doing?
Try.
Yeah.
Just try. That's all you got to do, man.
Yeah.
Just attempt to give people role play. And I think, like, listen, if I had it my way, so this is where I'm at right now. Like, I love Red Dead. I think Red Dead is so cinematic and amazing. And I've fleshed out and I've had some like, but what happened was, like, with Red Dead, I kind of hit this storyline that was so fucking juicy, so good, that I'm not going to get that for a while. And I think, like, sometimes with RP, you need to go through that and you need to flesh that out in your own kind of shit and be like, I can't go onto a server now and expect to hit that peak of RP again because it took so long to get there anyway. But that's something that I somewhat struggled with, that I went through a great storyline on Red Dead and then we had a bit of shit happening with that storyline and we went to a different server. And when we got to the different server, it didn't hit the same.
Yeah.
And we went to a different server, it didn't hit the same. So I want to try bring that slow style of RP, that cinematic style of RP to the next GTA server I go to. I want to try something different. Like, I've tried Bosco. Bosco was quite fast paced, even though, like, I took me time with him. I want to do Red Dead immersion, but on GTA. Does that make sense? I want to, when I walk into a room, I want people to know this is a character.
Yeah.
I
I disagree with you. So I don't mean to cut you off. But
Okay,
I
yeah.
disagree with you that you won't find that again. Reason being, or find it soon or that kind of stuff, is because when you're somebody who role plays out the way that you do, everybody around you who you find will fall in line. And so the problem probably was, I don't know if this is what happened, but did you try to go to different servers with the same people?
Yes and no. We went initially like 2 people, 3 people.
Yeah.
We went over and then some of us would get on some nights, some of us wouldn't, and it just dwindled out.
In my opinion, that storyline, it's probably dead. It was dead, right? The moment it got fucked up, it's dead. And it's just there. It can't be restarted, it can't be resuscitated. But the next storyline is just around the corner. And the hard part is a lot of times that next storyline can't really happen with the same people. And sometimes it can, but especially if you're trying to revive the old storyline, and you can disagree with me on this, so feel free.
Yeah,
but you can't revive that old storyline. You got to move on to the next, as much as it hurts because it built up so freaking good. But I've had so many storylines recently that have done that, where it built up so good and it got ruined by like a bunch of people trying to jump into it when they really shouldn't have. And now they've taken it and created into something that's it's not even that, and in my opinion, it just wasn't as good. So I move on to the next, and then the next one is like, I realize that the journey is way better than the end result of a storyline or RP than anything.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that bit, yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't be too discouraged, because anywhere you go and anyone who's around you, you will be able to bring them up to speed of whatever storyline you create. And and it's not like a cocky thing for you or anything like that kind of stuff, but it's just the reality of people who are like storytellers in RP, and that's a very specific type of RPer. Everyone around them just kind of is like, I want to be a part of that. And so who you let into that will kind of match your energy.
Yeah, and I agree. I agree definitely with the last point. It's I think, like, this is why I think I want to do GTA now. Like, I think what will happen with me is, for my RP, how long as ever I RP is, I'll do bouts. I always said that I think it's good for me. In particular, like, my creative process is weird. Like, I go for, I've ADHD. I'll be all in or I'll be all out. Like,
Yep.
there's no middle ground with me. Like, I'll either be like fucking writing up a fucking essay on like this character, or I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I'm not RPing for 3 months. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way I go. So I think a good way of self-reflecting that has worked for me and like self-awareness is that like I've realized that I need to do things in bouts. So I need to do like story bouts with characters. So like John had his Red Dead, evil hunting, killing witches, crazy arc. Okay, what's next? Park it or end it. And then we go on to the next one, park it or end it. Go on to the next one, park it or end it. So I think now where I'm at is I want to bring that slow, immersive style. John could be a biker on GTA. I don't know what I'm going to do with John on GTA. I'm definitely doing John. I love Bosco, but I think Bosco wouldn't suit what I'm trying to do now at this time. Like, Bosco's very fast, so I want to just figure out like what's next. And I think whatever is next with John, it could be fucking anything. But you're dead right in what you said is you need to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. You know what I mean?
it's like I mean, that's just content creation too. Like in the reality of it is once you start feeling that feeling, it's like an intuition thing. And you start to realize, you go, oh, it's going downhill. Like like in terms of not even like streaming or whatever, but like a storyline, especially, or like a trend or those kinds of things. There's some people who can see that and they can feel when that time's coming. And that's the time when to keep myself interested. When I start to see that coming on a storyline, I go, oh, I know, I just know this now. Like, I know this is where it's going. I might try to wrap it up quicker than what I would have, and then kind of hand it off to somebody else in a certain way. Or I might try to, okay, we're pulling away from that,
That's interesting. Cause like, this is obviously your full-time gig.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I know I'm asking you a question.
No, go ahead.
But like, how do you deal with that? Like, so say for example, you stream 5-6 days a week. Yeah.
Yep.
And you're playing a character, Nick. You're doing like, I have to say, I love you and your group. I think you create some fucking creative heists that, like, I wish, like, obviously it's great that everyone doesn't do it, but I wish people put more time into robbing a fucking store, or robbing a bank. But how do you deal with that? Like, how do you deal with like do you feel like sometimes you're like, oh, I couldn't be bothered with robbing a bank today, or I couldn't be bothered with, getting on RP today. How do you cope with that as somebody who does it full time?
I love streaming way more than RPing. The reason why I love streaming is because I get to connect with people in a very direct way. And so there's never a day where I don't want to go live. Like in four like and a half years of doing this consistently, I've never had a day where I don't want to go live, where I go, oh my God, I just really don't want to do this. Oh, I guess I will. There's days where I feel really unfunny. And there's days where I feel really like I can't create something. And those days, I always give myself the opportunity to stop stream early. So I never cancel stream because of that, but I always give myself the option to stop stream early. And so that's the kind of the thing that like allows me to like, okay, get over that hump of just starting, but when I don't feel like doing something, I switch it up. So like with heists, I think heists are really cool, really interesting, a great way for people to like get a good introduction to me as a creator. I think that is the like lowest form of RP I personally have to offer. I think it's cool. It's something I kind of fall back into. Like I'll go back into it, but it's not like it's using a mechanic in its like most mechanic sense, a heist, and it's an easy thing to get into a chase or that kind of stuff. The hard things are like this week, what I did with jail or running a restaurant. Like people who came to my stream to watch heists, and then now they're watching me like run a restaurant, and it's doing way better than any of the heists I've done recently. To me, that to me is like, I'm so stoked on that because it's actual like no mechanic basically. It's like running a restaurant, but even the restaurants are kind of lacking the mechanics. It's it's just pure RP, and it's pure like story, and it interests me to kind of be into that, almost like creating a show, kind of an idea to
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
My brother's like he's aspiring to be a director, doing like short films and
All
doing
right,
all that kind of
cool.
stuff, and so that kind of stuff interests me, right? Like being able to for people to grab onto a story, and if they feel like they cannot click off, to me that is something that I know I'm kind of like in a space. I'm like, okay, this is something
This is
special that
it.
makes them like kind of feel and connects,
Mm.
even though it's a stupid video game, and it's just that there's it's a medium to kind of communicate. So it's kind of a long answer, sorry, but I
No,
think it's
no.
the I don't ever get tired of connecting with people.
Mm.
And that's why I can go Monday through Friday, sometimes Sunday, for like 8 to 10 hours. And GTA, I would not do it if I wasn't streaming, I'll be honest with you. Like I probably wouldn't do RP in terms of how the mechanics are. I might do Red Dead RP.
Yeah.
And I have done that off stream sometimes, but like I wouldn't really do GTRP because it's so grindy and you have to spend so much time.
Mm.
I just wouldn't. I would have to play certain types of characters. Uh, but I do it because I think it speaks to people in a weird kind of way.
And it's
And yeah,
storytelling, isn't it? It's like telling a story through a video game.
yeah,
It's that's what I love about it. It's like it's like I have an itch of creating. I need to create whatever
yep,
it may be.
exactly.
I have an itch that I need to do, and through RP, I'm lucky enough that I can do that. I create a character, I get involved in different storylines, and the beauty of it is there's a start, there's a middle, and there's an end, and
Hmm.
that's what I love about it the most.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It really is.
Well, and it's kind of funny you were talking about how you used to do a bit of like a mental health side of things. I think
Mm.
that side of things when it comes to the RP community is something to talk about. Like
Yeah.
it's something that this idea that it's an escape is a very helpful idea and very dangerous idea right next to each other. Not only for our peers, but RP streamers and all that kind of stuff. There's just this interesting thing within the community, and I don't know if you've thought about that much
Oh
at all,
yeah.
but
I literally spoke about this the other night on stream. Listen, I think RP as a viewer, RP as an RPer is an escape, and it can have that touch of escapism.
yeah,
It's like diving into your favorite book, diving into your favorite video game, diving into your favorite TV show, whatever it may be. The problem is with it is when people try escape their reality and they try to replace their reality with RP is when it completely it life
it's unhealthy.
dishevels.
It's unhealthy, dude.
It's
Yeah.
very unhealthy. So like, I'm at a point where I'm working full time and I'm just dipping in and out of RP. But say for example, someone isn't working full time, hasn't really got many friends, hasn't really got much pro social activities going on in their life,
Mm.
and then you jump on a game RP and you're getting instant dopamine hits. You're getting that instant, buzz, that rush. I can see how quick and how easy that can take over someone's life. And then not only is it unhealthy for your body, for your mind, for you as a person, it's unhealthy for servers. It's unhealthy for your character, because now it's not just your character, it's you.
Yeah.
And life might not be great for you at the moment, and if you're trying to use your RP as a way of making life good for you, I rob your RP character, you're pissed. Your character's not pissed, you're pissed.
Yeah.
And I think escapism and escaping, two different things when it comes to RP. And I think people, listen, at the moment, my job is I run an addiction service for young people. So
Mm.
I work in kind of mental health during the week. That's my kind of thing. I work with people all week, but I've been involved in this line of work for 7-8 years now. And like the last few years of just being involved in RP, I've noticed the negatives a little bit more. And I've noticed like people that I've known that have got into RP or I've known through RP and diving into characters and even just talking in my stream to people, it's just like, mind yourself. Really need to mind yourself and check in with yourself.
Yeah.
Why am I doing this? You know, how often am I jumping on? How long am I jumping on for? You know, what am I doing? Am I jumping on to grind to get extra pixelated money? You know, do you know these sort of things that
Yeah.
It's a really tricky subject, Nick. Like it is. It's amazing and it's really positive and it can be such a positive outlet for people. But also when things aren't going too great for you as a person and you try to use that to escape your life, it can become dangerous.
And I think if you put the additive of the dopamine hit of if you're streaming and getting paid and getting this, and that, and if you're not escaping into the creativity, but you're like just living that second life, that distinction's a very like clever distinction because it just turns into, you're just trying to live a different life. And that's just unhealthy. Like if you got like problems in terms of, just not liking where you're at or maybe depression or those kinds of things, diving into a highly addictive world, because this isn't even like really a video game at some points. Like it's a small community. It's like like you said, instant gratification or instant belonging, but it's not real belonging.
It's false connection.
It's not. And if you're diving into it for that reason, you'll most likely be disappointed in the long run. And most of the time, like GTA servers and people in GTA servers are great until they're not. And you'll find yourself like realizing, oh shoot, this isn't a real connection. It might be able to turn into that, realistically speaking, but then you throw into the idea of relationship RP and getting it really gets convoluted very, very quick. And that's why I try to remind my viewers who are jumping in, like, be very careful what you use it for, because it is it's built to be addicting. It's built to make you spend as much time as you possibly can in it. And if you don't have some kind of separation from it, mentally speaking, like it can ruin you.
100%.
It can legitimately ruin you.
And especially if you have not much going on in your life.
Yeah.
Do you know, like think of it like this, the kind of traditional person who gets addicted to drugs or whatever is usually someone who has, either a lack of connection in their life with people that they love, a lack of pro-social activities or stuff going on in their life, maybe not a job, maybe some shit going on, and mental health issues. Yeah.
Yeah.
So imagine you have all that or some of that going on in your life. You jump on a video game or you've been struggling in real life and people are saying, you need to get your act together. What are you doing? Maybe your family's on your case. You jump on and me and you aren't looking at each other right now.
Yeah.
And you're looking at someone who's a brand new character, who has a flashy car, who has all this money, all this stuff in character. You have a better life in character than what you have in real life. That's how easy it can just be like, well, fuck, why the fuck am I spending so much time in this life that I'm not enjoying? Whereas I jump in this life, people respect me. People care about me.
Yeah.
So
or you can talk to the opposite sex. You can earn money easily. That feeling of like, some people, they're like paycheck to paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. And the fact that you can just be rich is like a whole different world. And it kind of means something more than like just a regular video game,
It's tricky.
It's a
tricky
thing.
field. It's a tricky field. And my advice to anyone, there's like Ireland at the moment has a big gambling scene, and there's like a fucking advert that goes around, and it always sticks with me. It's a gambling advert, and it goes, when the fun stops. Now, but they say it like at 100 miles per hour. When the fun stops. But like, that is the way I look at roleplay. When the fun stops, stop. You know what I mean? And like, fun isn't you replacing your life and getting carried away and all that shit. It's, why did you get into roleplay for the first place? Why are you doing this for the first place? Are you doing this to have a laugh? Are you doing this to, create stories, create characters? So when that kind of gets diluted, it's kind of like, okay, well, mind yourself. Be careful. Reflect a little bit more. I think self-reflection and self-awareness is something that should be taught better in schools to young people. You know, you should
100%.
You should be able to look at yourself a little bit more and be like, is this positive for me or is this a negative? You know, and weigh it up that way.
Yeah. Dude, I appreciate you coming on, man. Sorry I could do like 30 minutes over an hour, but dude, this has been an absolutely amazing conversation. I know people are going to love it, man. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast, dude. So where can people find you on, YouTube, Twitch, or where are you kind of at mainly right now?
Yeah, I'm streaming. I'm trying to stream 2 to 3 nights a week. That's going to change, I would say, because I'm going to be buying a house soon. So we're going to be buying our first ever house.
Dude, congrats. Hell yeah.
So I don't know where the streaming is going to be at when that's all going on, but like it's Justmanupplays and everything. YouTube, cool. Yeah, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, everything. And I usually go live 2-3 nights a week. We're at RP at the minute. We're trying to find a fucking server. You never know. We might be on Rush Hour. We might be on Onyx. We might be back on Red Dead. Hopefully not. We'll see what happens. But listen, it's been great chatting to you, man. And listen, I'm delighted you're doing well. Keep it up. And I'm sure definitely our paths will cross again in the future. If you're ever in Ireland, give me a shout.
Dude, I actually might take you up on that. I need to go out there. So.
Dude.
Right, have a good one. Hey guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. There's another one right here, or like maybe right here, or something like that. Also, if you have not subscribed to this channel yet, make sure you smash that subscribe button. If this is your first time ever seeing me, I'm also live on Twitch Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I might be live right now. You never know. All right. See you in the next video. Bye.